Good evening, everyone. My name is Someshwar. I welcome all of you on behalf of Art of Living organization to Yog Vaashishtha evening session. नमस्ते, मैं सोमेश्वर आप सभी का आर्ट ऑफ लिविंग संस्था की तरफ से योग वाशिष्ठ के इस सत्र में स्वागत करता हूं। आज हम लोग 60वें सत्र में पहुंच गए हैं। टुडे वी आर ऑन डे 60 and today we will be seeing a very beautiful story of Janaka. No, there was this king called Janak Raja. Not sure whether that Janak Raja and the Janak Raja of who is a father-in-law of Lord Rama are the same or not. That is something which is not mentioned here. But there was this. There are many Janak happened in the past. So there was one king called Janaka, and the story of that we'll see today. There is very beautiful Siddhagita also that will come, and we'll see how this Janak Raja actually gets the knowledge from the Siddhagita. What is Siddhagita? All will flow through. But let us begin our session by chanting Om 3 times and doing the Guru Puja. So to chant Om and to pray to the Master, let's all close our eyes. Aake band kar le. Sit comfortably. रीढ़ की हड्डी सीधी हो, गर्दन सीधी, shoulders relaxed. Let us bring our attention to our breath. अपना ध्यान अपनी सांस के ऊपर ले आए. Breathe in and let go. Gurudev says it's worth dropping your past. Take a deep breath in and as you breathe out, drop all your past and come back to the present moment. Let us welcome this moment by chanting Om. Take a deep breath in Let us awaken the divinity within. गुरु का आवाहन कर ले. आवाहनम 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 पुनः पुनः let us express our gratitude to divinity, to the Master. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुर्साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। Let us pray to the divinity, to the master. Whatever the words that we speak, whatever the actions that we do, whatever the thoughts that come into our mind, whatever the power of discrimination that arise in our intellect, those impressions which are getting created in our memory, if they are, and this feeling of I, me, even if it is there in a small iota, let thy be and all this be inspired by the master alone. We, the people walking on the path of liberation, even if we get moksha right now, this moment, let the remaining life. And if we have to come here again to do the seva, to do the service to the humanity, to express our gratitude, our bhakti, or to spread this knowledge, let that be inspired by the master alone. Feel the presence of the master within and outside. And slowly and gradually, you may open your eyes. Jai Gurudev. So अपने सारे Zoom के पार्टिसिपेंट्स, अपने सारे फेसबुक के व्यूवर्स और अपने सारे यूट्यूब के व्यूवर्स, इन सभी का भी आज के इस सत्र में स्वागत है। Our today's Guru Puja Pandit Sangeeta ji have already joined with us. Sangeeta ji, over to you. Let's begin this session by singing the glory of the master, by expressing our gratitude to this Guru Parampara by performing the Guru Puja. Over to you. Jai Gurudev.
Let's sit comfortably with our spine erect, eyes closed, and we will be doing the Guru Puja. Sadashiva Samarambha Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmat Sri Guru Pariyanta Vande Guru Parampara. Apavitra Pavitro Va Sarva Vastangato Vivat Yasvare Pundali Kaksham Sabhatya Santarashichi Avahanam Narayanam Padmabhavam Vaashistham Satyam Satatputra Parasharanja Yasam Sukam Gaurapadam Mahatam Govinda Yogendra Matha Sashishyam Sri Shankaracharya Madhasya Padma Palan Hastamarakanta Shishyam Tantro Takam Vadikakaramanyar अस्मद् गुरुं सन्ततमानतोऽसि श्रुति स्मृति पुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम् शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं वादनायनं सूत्रभाष्यकृतो वन्दे भगवन्तो पुनः पुनः यद्द्वारे निखिलानिलिम्बपरिषत् सिद्धिं विवक्षे निशं श्रीमच्छ्रीलसितं जगद्गुरुपदं नत्वात्मतृप्तिं तका लोकाज्ञानपयोदपातनतुरं श्रीशङ्करं शर्मदं ब्रह्मानन्द सरस्वतीं गुरुवरं ध्यायामि ज्योतिर्मयम् आवाहनं समर्पयामि श्री गुरुचरणकमलेभ्यो नमः आसनं समर्पयामि श्री गुरुचरणकमलेभ्यो नमः स्नानं समर्पयामि श्री गुरुचरणकमलेभ्यो नमः वस्त्रं समर्पयामि श्री गुरुचरणकमलेभ्यो नमः चन्दनं समर्पयामि श्री गुरुचरणकमलेभ्यो नमः अक्षरतां समर्पयामि श्री गुरुचरणकमलेभ्यो नमः पुष्पं समर्पयामि श्री गुरुचरणकमलेभ्यो नमः धूपं समर्पयामि श्री गुरुचरणकमलेभ्यो नमः दीपं समर्पयामि श्री गुरुचरणकमलेभ्यो नमः आचमनीयं समर्पयामि श्री गुरुचरणकमलेभ्यो नमः नैवेद्यं समर्पयामि श्री गुरुचरणकमलेभ्यो नमः आचमनीयं समर्पयामि श्री गुरुचरणकमलेभ्यो नमः ताम्बूलं समर्पयामि श्री गुरुचरणकमलेभ्यो नमः श्रीफलं समर्पयामि श्री गुरुचरणकमलेभ्यो नमः आराधिक्यं कर्पूरगौरं करुणावतारं संसारसारं भुजगेन्द्रहारं सदा वसन्तं हृदयारविन्दे भवं भवानी सहितं नमामि हारातिथ्यं समर्पयामि श्री गुरुचरणकमलेभ्यो नमः आचमनीयं समर्पयामि श्री गुरुचरणकमलेभ्यो नमः पुष्पाञ्जलिं गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Akhanda Mandala Karyam Vyatam Ena Chara Charam Tattvadam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Brahmanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Jnanamurti Vishwatitam Gaganasadisham Tattvamasyadilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadhi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Trikuna Sahitam Satgurum Tam Namami. Ajnanatimilandasya Nananjana Shalakaya Sashkurun Nimitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Pushpanjalim Samarpayami Shri Guru Charana Kamalekto Namaha. Slowly and gradually, at your own, take your own time. Whenever you feel complete, you may open your eyes. Jai Gurudev.
Jai Gurudev Sangeeta ji, that was really blissful Guru Puja. So let us begin and continue with our today's Yog Vaashishtha session. Today we are on day 60 and we are continuing the chapter number 5, Upsham Rakaran. Here Vaashishtha Muni explains Rama, that what is it that we have seen till now, and let us now understand and continue by understanding how we can achieve that peace of mind, that upasham, that having a say over control over your senses. How do we do that? How do we really bring it to the practical? That is where Rama is now continuing to ask questions to Vaashishtha Muni, and Vaashishtha Muni is slowly and gradually explains the knowledge, that real knowledge which one can get you out of the suffering, that real knowledge what one can establish you in the self-knowledge, self-realization. So as he has been done in the past in chapter number 3 and chapter number 4 also, Vaashishtha Muni keeps on telling some small stories, and through that stories he keep on passing the very important message to the Rama. So today also he explained one story. Let us look at what the story is. That once upon a time there was this king called Janaka. Now where this Janak Raja is the father-in-law of Rama, or he is the father of the Sita, that is not being said here. There was some Janaka. There could have been many multiple Janakas that have happened in the past. So one of them, there was this Janaka. Now this Janak Raja happens to go on a travel with a family, and he is walking on the path. He is very good. Whatever his actions he is supposed to do, he has been doing all that all his life till now. And just to have a vacation, he goes on a vacation with his family. So likewise, when he goes and travel and going and goes into one Udyana, there is one place where we can go and sit and relax. And he just goes there and he is sitting and enjoying with his family. And suddenly he start listening to some sound, and he says, look around, who is singing this glories, this Gita, no, this is called as Siddhagita. So it was basically he did not find any body there. No? So that's the reason it is said that this Janaka, whatever he listens to that, it is a Shariri. A Shariri Vani means there was nobody seen there around, but still that sound was coming. Still someone was singing those glories. Their understanding, and that itself is very famous by the name called Siddhagita. So now, why it is Siddhagita? Because it has been said by the Siddhas. So it is their experience of about their own self-realization. So it is called as Siddhagita. Now in this Siddhagita, there are 9 different shlokas that are given. Those shlokas you will be able to find in this book called Yog Vaashishtha. It is there on page number 265 here. That is where this Siddhagita is there. So in this page number 265, you will be able to get this Siddhagita. And then we will slowly and gradually will see what are the these 9 shlokas actually meant, and what is the meaning of that. We will see one by one, step by step. What is the effect this listening to Siddhagita happened on the Raja Janaka's mind, and how does he progress? That is something will come now. So let us first go through this Siddhagita. I will just chant those Sanskrit shlokas, and then one by one shloka we will see the meaning of that. So let me just go through the shlokas now, and I just chant it. You can always refer to these shlokas in the book also later. So the Siddhagita goes like this. The first shloka: Drushta Drushya Sama Yogat Pratyayananda Nishchayah Yah Tvam Swayam Atmatattvotam Nispandanah Samupasmahi. Shloka number 1, finish here. Drushya Darshana Drishyani Tyatva Vasanaya Saha Darshana Prathama Bhasam Atmanam Samupasmahi. Dvayoho Madhyagatam Nityam Asti Nasti Iti Pakshayoho Prakashanam Prakashanam Atmanam Samupasmahi. Shirakasam Ha Karantam Asheshkarar Sanstititama Ajastra Ucharanta Swayam Atmanam Samupasmahe. Shloka number 4, finish here. Satyanja Hridaya Greshana Tvam Anya Yamanti Te Ratnam Abhivanchati Sarvatva Hastasya Kaustubha Sarvashaha Kisatyacha Phalam Etam Avrapate Asha Vishwavalina Mula Mula Viluyati. Shloka number 6. Buddhatva api adyanta vairasyam yah padartheshu durmitiha bandhanti bhavanam bhuyah naraha na asau saha gardabha uttit anuttittani etani indriya ahina punaha punaha hanyat viveka dandena vajrena iva harihi girin. Shloka number 8, finish here. Upasham sukha ahareta pavisham vashatah shamam eti sadhu cheta prashanta manasaha swake swarupe bhavati sukhe stitim uttama chiraya. So this is the Siddhagita that Raja Janaka hears. No? So after listening to this Siddhagita, there is a very profound effect that happens because of the vichara that are being said in this Siddha, because this Siddhagita in itself, just by doing the Shravana, just by listening to this Siddhagita and understanding the thought process in that, one can actually lead to the self-realization. One can actually go towards their journey can begin towards the self-realization, and fundamentally understanding and implementing this in life, one can actually become the self-realized and enlightened. So what are the meanings of those shloka? The first shloka that is being said here, that in this sansara, if anybody is caught up in this sattva, rajas, tamas, no, these are the different natures of the people that I already told you. I already told you about all these things. These are there are two different paths for one can attain. Here Vaashishtha Muni is telling this to Rama. These are the two paths that one can attain the liberation. What is the first path? One can go and believe in the words of the master, the upadeshas from the master, walk on that path, and then by walking on this path, one can slowly and gradually attain liberation in this life, or by taking 1 or 2, 3 births, they can attain the liberation. Now, there is another path that is available to one, that something because of the luck, because of the Daiva yoga or yoga in a coincidentally, just like that fruit falls from the tree, and in bracket is not there, just adding it here, then got that Siddhanta of the gravity, that principle of the gravity. You just discovered when you are sitting in the tree and the fruit falls down. Similar to that, just like this situation, one can suddenly get into this kind of thought and they can get enlightened. That is what is being said here. So this is another thing, and how it can be so easy, how one can get suddenly just like that. Now to explain this, I will tell you one story of this Janaka. So that is where he starts with the story of Janaka, and this Janaka Raja goes into the Udyana, and that is where in the garden, and that is where he's sitting and he starts listening to this Siddhagita, which we have just recited. Now this Siddhagita, he's addressing it to Rama, that just like the Upanishad, the Dharma Shastra, Purana, Itihasa, it is just like a summary. It is the Saransha of that entire Shastras is something that is seems to be presented in this Siddhagita. So it is very powerful for one to realize. Atma Sakshatkar means it is very powerful for one to realize this Atma Sakshara, Atmadaya, self-realization by listening to this. So the first shloka, the meaning of first shloka goes like this, that there is this drishta and drishya, means there is this observer and there is this drishta, means the scenery, and the one which is experiencing that and the bhogya vastu, and the one which is being experienced via your 5 senses. If they happen to come together, then there is an automatically the one who is viveka, that buddhi is automatically gets an experience of that anubhav. Means basically what is being trying to say here, that whatever the pleasure that we get from the outward objects or the people or the situation through our 5 senses, and there is some pleasure that we experience within. The pleasure is not there outside, the pleasure is there within itself, and the momentarily we experience that pleasure, the one who really is that Swarupa of that Anand, that what is being kindled inside, the one who is the real Swarupa of that, the Satchidananda, the Paramananda, the Atmananda, that Swarup, that Atma, we pray to that. We do their upasana, we do the upasana of that. So that is what the first shloka says here. Now the next shloka says that there are these triputis, Jagruta and Swapna, means in both the state, either you are awake or you are dreaming, you tend to observe these kind of triputis or tend to think about this. What are those? Drashya, Drishya, Darshan, Karta, Karma, Kriya, means the observer, the scene and the scenery. The observer, the scenery and the process of observation, that is Darshan. And the Karta, Karma and Kriya. The Karta means the doer, the Karma means the action, and the action which is being done, that process is Kriya. All these things, whatever the experience that one gets, there is a root of that vasana, that bij, even which is there in the sushupti avastha. No, when they are supta or adrishya, no? When they are all these sthiti, all these states, is supta, it is there in the supta avastha, in the adrishya sthiti, means it is hidden. Even all those repeats and this vasana bij, if you drop it by tyaga, if you experience that avastha, which is an turyatit avastha, that is swayam prakashit, means that is self-illuminative of the Atman. Ekagrachita means by fully concentrating on that, we pray to that. That is what we do the upasana for. Means basically what is being tried to say here, that irrespective of your state of mind, you are in Jagrut or in Swapnavastha, all these triputis that comes, drashta, drishya, darshan, the things that you observe, the object of senses and the observer and the process, all such things happens because of your 5 senses. And because of these 5 senses, if one is able to drop them, all these things, dropping them, achieve that state of turiya avastha, then this turiya avastha, whatever is being there, if that is the one who is root cause of that turiya avastha also, the one who is experiencing that turiya avastha, that Atman, no? We pray to that Atman. No? That is what is been said here in the second shloka. The third shloka, that it says that there is this concept of bhava and abhava, means something is there and there is not, and something is not there. The karya and karan, the cause and effect. No? All these sthithis, whatever these sthithis are there, those both the sthithis are anusthit, means which is established in itself. No, that adhisthana bhut, no, the one which illuminates this, the one which gives the cause to this, that nitya, that is omnipresent, omnipotent, and that is which is there beyond the time, that is which is present. No, that sakshi bhut atma, that ultimate observer, no, that atma tattva, that chaitanya, brahma, shiva, no, that is which is nischal. By the nischal antakarana means we fullness of the heart, we pray to that. No? That is the third shloka. Now the fourth shloka says that the starting that happens from akara, and the end that happens with ham, no, hankara, no, that it is there, all this aham, that aham pad, which has occupied this entire space, entire jagat, entire universe, that aham, no, that Atman, that Shiva, no, which is sarvavyapi, means which is omnipresent, which is omnipotent, it is there all the point of time, everywhere. And the one which is there in all the Veda Shastra, and according to that, it is there in all the Vyavaharas. No? In all the Vyavaharas, it's always there. It has been addressed with that aham, no, that upadhi, no, that aham, that I, which seems to be there in all these things, doing the niras of that, no, dropping that I, the one who can establish into that pratyagya tattva, means that self, no, to that we do the nirantara upasana, and continuously we do the upasana of that. No, we pray to that. Now, the one who is there within, the self which is there within, is said to Hridaya Rupi Guhed, means the one which is there here within this, no? That Ishvara, that self, that Chaitanya, that Guru, no, forgetting that, going and praying either all the other gods, no, and praying for that, doing that, that's, no, it is equivalent to you have something called as Kaustubh Mani. No, living that Kaustubh Mani is the one who has Kaustubh Mani, there all the desires can be fulfilled. You just ask anything to Kaustubh Mani and it will get fulfilled. So the one who is holding that Kaustubh Mani within the heart, within ourselves, and then searching for that other ratnas, means other jewelry outside, means the real pleasure, that self Atmananda is present within us only, and leaving that behind, you are running after the other sensory pleasures outside. So that is what is being said in the 5th shloka. The 7th shloka, it says that the one who does that nirvikara. Nirvikara means without having any vikara in it, any destruction in it, without any wrong conception in it. No, dropping all your desires. Sarva asha satya means dropping all your desire. The one who pray and be with this God which is there present within you, that's Atman, Atmarupi phal, that fruit which is there present in this, to that Rupi. So if you be with that self, then this other things, that Asha Rupi means all the desires, no? They are like Vishweli is said, that desires, that ichchas, the outward things which you take you out away from yourself. No, that thing will be automatically that which is firmly so established in the Jagat, using this, that once you drop that, once you do the Tyaga of this, using your Atman, using things, you will be able to remove those Drudha Bhavana, those Vasanas, those Vishayas. That is the shloka number 6. The shloka number 7 says that the one who is continuously taking the pleasure from these 5 senses, no? And the one which is getting experience, that bhogya vastu, no? That after continuously taking that temporary pleasure out of it, at one point of time you feel virakta. Vairasya means you will feel bored out of it, no? That experience, once that one gaze, no? So that experience, after getting that experience also, that whatever you're having sex, after some time you'll get bored out of it. How much can you enjoy? Even if you're having a sweat, how much can you enjoy? 1, 2, 3, 4, after 50th you will feel bored out of it. Understanding this reality of that, this pleasure what we are seeking from outside temporary sources is impermanent in nature. Despite of that, the fools keep on entangled into again and again, getting caught up into these external objects. No, that person is really to be called donkey, gada. Usko nirbuddhi, we can call that person like this. This is the 7th shloka. Shloka number 8 is that the Indra, there is Indra, no? This Indra has, he is a king of the gods. No? He holds that one astra, one weapon called Vajra. So if that Indra is able to break that, all the mountains, no? Like that, this Indra Rupi means these 5 senses, no? Just like a snake which keeps on coming out, no? That do the cobra, that do they come out and then they trouble. So using that viveka, that power of discrimination, you again and again you dismiss these 5 senses and the outward direction, that vasana, those vishayas, which keeps on making you go outward. You just remove it using like a vajra. Vajra like means that weapon of Indra. You remove this from your system. That is the shloka number 8. And the shloka number 9 is that whatever these 8 shlokas I have explained you, is that the upasham, no, the one which the chapter which we are going through, that upasham itself is that pure ananda, pure sukha. So because of that, He Rama, you achieve this, you sampadana means you achieve this in life, no? Then all this outside and inside, all these attractions of these indriyas, means the 5 senses, and its vishayas, the outward going tendencies, no? Which is continuous in nature through it keeps on taking your mind to outward activities, no? The imagination, the thoughts, no? All these things will drop, no? They will just dissolve into this. Doing this process is nothing but called as upasham. That is what is the dissolution. So like this, if one does this dissolution, that upasham, then the other things which arise, no? that all these temporary sukha, the temporary pleasures, that cravings, that wanting to go out, all these things, and the one which is full of sorrow, no, ultimately it gives that sorrow, no. So that thing which is giving pleasure to this chitta, to mind, that temporary pleasure, that itself is finished. Then just like the one which is you are giving and fuel to something, no, if there is a fire or there is a car, you fuel it, then it runs. Like that, if you remove this, the fueling, then these fueling tendencies, that mind, once you remove that, automatically your mind will become sharp. Automatically that upasham, automatically that dissolution of your mind will happen, and it will go and rest in your, it will dissolve in yourself, and you will experience the paramasukha. You'll experience that peace of mind, that shama, and then you will be stable, you will be established in the happiness, in the mudita. You will rest there. That is what the 9th shloka says. Now, after listening to this 9 shlokas, there is something that happens to Janaka. What this Janaka does now, with his family, he comes back to his palace, and then he goes alone into one hall, and he sits there alone. And now he is now contemplating on what is that he has heard, and what is the effect of that happens on the Janaka. Now he's in a completely different state of mind, where he starts feeling that here the Vaashishtha Muni tells that Rama, after listening to these Vani, these vachanas of Siddhas, this Janaka Raja comes back and he sits in a room, and then just like if there is probably there is a war that has been declared, and if the particular king is really having fear about it, he does not have courage to face that war. What is the state of mind of that king? He will be in a completely worried state. He will be completely in a fearful state. That is exactly the state of this Raja Janaka that happens after listening to this Vanis. No, so he expresses itself. Oh, hi, what is it that I have been? Just like the birds which fly here and there, and they just get fall, their feathers fall like this. No, like this people have the that chanchalta, means that running here and out of the, that is how that Shudra, it is like that. No, that is what he explains. Then he says that all these oldhood, no, that when we get old, that matarpan, that when you get old, that all the vyadis, no, that diseases that one experiences, that death that is going to come, how that is there, how that is going to give you that just like a stone, you are there sitting in that stone and become like a stone. That is how the state is there. That is how I am just lying down here in this sansara, not realizing what the truth is. Then he also expresses that, look at my life. What is this life? It is just 100 years old. If I see that ananta sthiti, that infinite kala, infinite time frame, what is my life? 100 years of life which is there in front of this, just nothing. And despite of that, how can I be attached so much to this life, which is just a momentarily in this amariyad, means is this infinite time frame. Then talking about this my kingdom also, look at this, in this entire space, in entire creation, what is it that this is there? This earth itself does not have any place here. It is such a small thing in front of this existence. And what is that? I am feeling proud that I am ruling this little bit of tiny of kingdom here. How can that happen to me? Just like a foolish person, I am taking pride into this. What to say to this? No, all these thoughts now hovering to him. No, so even say that even the my relatives, I see these are mine. What is it that I just stuck into that all these things? No, hi, how can I get rid of this? No, which is that magician which is that Maya, that magician who has completely made me blind and look at all these other people also, no, which is in this krutrim means, is there anything that is not krutrim? Means, is there anything which is real, something real which can give me the real pleasure? And all these things, other things, I cannot believe in that. That can really give me that pleasure. Look at the other people who have been achieved everything. They had a lot of wealth. No, they have conquered the entire world. They had a lot of wealth with them. No, they have experienced all the pleasures of their life. No, they had everything. They are all good friends. They are all good families. Look at them. Where they are now? Nowhere. Huh? We can't even remember their names. They are just vanished. Sakshat Brahmadev, the Brahmadev himself have come here. Where are his bhuvanas? They have come here and disappeared many point of day. I don't even see them. No, so many crores of Brahmadev like this have come here and they have created this Brahman and they have disappeared. All these things, that thoughts process goes on into his thing. And this Janak Raja says that this sansara rupi means this jagat, which is like a night in this, and having this durswapna means watching a bad dream, that I am believing in this bad dream like this. I am sitting here to me, no, dhikkara, so means I say, what is this I am doing? No? So this, my life, by movement, it is moving me towards that. I have no idea at what point of time I will put that when the call comes, it will take me. And in spite of that, how can I put this entire thing reality in the side corner? How can I not look at it? How can I not see this? No? It's really, really pity, very, very pity. What is it that even the desire that came to my mind, so many of them are fulfilled, so many things that I wanted to get, I got it. But despite of that, did I got that Purnanda Ananda? No, as soon as the desire got fulfilled, the desire came. No, it did not even give me the pleasure. I have not experienced the pleasure out of it. The next desire comes. No, so that is that. It has been going on since this. No, it is such a alpakaling. That pleasure is also such a alpakaling. No, so despite of doing all this thing, despite of this fact, I really feel pity how this all the people, they have gone blindfold. He really expresses like this. So even the person who is non-educated, even they are also seems to be stuck into all these things. Either the educated or the non-educated, he says that it's the same story. They are also caught up in this Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Mada, Moha, Matsara, all these Shandripus, greed, entanglement, anger, jealousy, and all these things. They also caught up into this Papa, Punya, but they are not even thinking about all these things. They keep on doing what they are supposed to do, not realizing what they are doing, what the crime they are committing, and what is the fruit of their karma they are going to reap. No, they are not at all this. I am really puzzled. Why these people behave like this, which are completely blindfold in nature. Then he also says that even if the people who are walking on this, that they are doing yag, they are doing all the charities and all that, and they assume that it is going to give them the punya karmas and all that. What about it? Will that sukha will also remain? They will achieve some position that will also diminish. Remember that Aristonemi story? He refused to go into the Swarga. He said, again, I will have to come back there once I consume. No, even they are also neither. And even if somebody said that, okay, they are getting something out of it, what is the guarantee that it will remain, that state will always remain? So like this, he says. So the one who is walking on this path of, is it not a good idea, instead of getting stuck into all these small pattern, is it not a good thought? Is it not a good idea to get into satsang, tiriyat, and tap, and all this satyagyan, which we can make me go from outward journey to the inward journey, experience that vairagya. So is it not a good thing to why should I not behave like this? Why should I not go and walk on this path? That is what the Raja Janaka expresses himself, no, after listening to all these things, which is a very, very true to many of us. We also get into this state of mind, and then the journey starts, no? Then the seeking starts, then the journey starts to get that knowledge, no, from the master. And then we seek the master. We are very fortunate that we have found that master within. And then by thinking like this, after that, he now gets into the thought process. What is it really one has to do? When he says that experience of that naraka, that hell, even if one is experiencing some problems and things over there, the one who experience here, it is double or more than that sorrowful state that one is going through with this. Here itself, what is it that, why do one need hell to experience that? Here itself, the mankind is actually experiencing the hell here. People think that, okay, there is and this bigger dukkha, my dukkha is little bit smaller than that, and they gets happier about it. Look at this irony. No, even they are in sorrow, they see that sorrow is also less than somebody else, so they feel pleasure in that. No, so why to go into this? No, all these things. It is like that they feel that instead of somebody's attacking me with the sword, now somebody has attacked me with that whip, chabuk, that whip of the horse. Now they feel pleasure. Oh, at least if not with sword, they are attacking me with this, feeling pleasure out of it. Must look at it. Instead of getting rid of it, now they start saying that, oh, there is no bigger thing. At least I am getting this lesser dukkha. And there that entire maya, that entire net of maya that is being there, of these all vishayas which is there, unless and until that stops, unless until we get rid of that, this sansara dukkha, this misery which this world is giving us, that will not end. Automatically, when that vishayas get stopped, automatically the sansara dukkha will also diminish. So whatever the things that appears so attractive to us, outside attractor, so this, just like a monkey mind, this man, this vritti of the man, this nature of the mind, it goes and there, unless until you recognize this fact and the nature of the mind, no, you will not be able to leave these vrittis, no, nashivanta vrittis. I will not, from today I take a vow, I take a commitment that I will not get stuck into these vrittis of the mind, no, which makes us go outward. That is the commitment that Raja Janaka seems to make himself. Then say, after this, till this point of time, I have been seeing this n number of times cribbing and doing this, saying, hi, I'm died, why this happened to me only? This kind of shock, this kind of grumbling that I have been doing, I take a grow. No, I take, oh, now I will not do this. No, and I express my gratitude to all these siddhas. By listening to their vachanas, by listening to their vanis, I could realize this truth. And then now I will keep on walking on the path of Paramartha, means on the spiritual path. There, by what is it that I was doing, that I have now understood that this Paramartha Rupi wealth, means the path, this was walking on this beautiful path which will lead me to the liberation. Instead of that, now I have understood that this mana, this mind, which was the thief, which was taking me away from this real experience, this real Paramananda, this real Chidananda. And because of I have realized this now, I am feeling really happy about it. And that is how we keep on expressing all these things, and how he gets the real knowledge, the Atma Bodh. That chapter will come tomorrow. So today we'll take a pause. We have finished the 45th chapter today. Tomorrow we'll see the 46th chapter, which is as per this book as a reference. So I will pause my words here. मैं अपनी वाणी को यहाँ पे विश्राम करता हूँ. आपकी पास इस सत्र को आपके पास हवाले कर देता हूँ. यदि आपने आज के सत्र में से आपका क्या टेक अवे रहा, what is it that you learn from here, you can express yourself. If you have any question, you can ask. No, if you add any experience, you can do that. So over to you all. Jai Gurudev. Would you like to express something?
Yes.
Yeah, Jai Gurudevji, go ahead.
Maybe my video is just a moment. Make it blur. Okay, that's fine. Thank you. Yes. So beautifully taken by you, Someshwar ji. And it was a wonderful story of Raja Janaka, how we saw he how he goes on, and also the points on the Siddhagita. Now in English, no, there are these are given in a very small paragraphs, actually. Yeah. So it of course has the same meaning of it, which you have explained to us. But still, I would really love to read all that. I read it as you were going through. So it is like all the three, that is, the seer, the scene, and the scenery, all that, when it comes to without a division, with it, it is without a division or conceptualization, that is all become one. Then you can relieve yourself. So we have to, it is written here, we contemplate that self which releases itself as the pure experience of bliss when the seer, that is the experiencer, comes into the contact with the object, that is the experience, without a division. And then the next one, it says, we contemplate the self in which the objects are reflected, now it's okay. Reading again, it will take me a very long time. So we can go through all that. Only thing is, I would love to say is, you can come out of the Triputi, that was the one thing. And the experience one gets of the vasanas which are hidden in that. So again, it comes to that one. That was the second one. The third one was the bhav and the abhav. That is the cause and the effect. That is a reality in which everything exists, to which everything belongs, and from which everything has emerged, which is the cause of everything, and that is everything. So like yesterday also when we heard Gurudev, he said, ki from I am to it is. That is what it has to be. So it is very beautifully given here. And the fourth point is a self in which the very basis of all languages, expressions, which covers the entire field, to which it comes from a and ha to aham, that is the capital I, that is your infinite consciousness. Yeah, am I going right? Those who are run after these objects, foolishly giving up the Lord, one who dwells in the care of the one who lives in the cave of his heart. So foolishly, who are running outside in the senses, with the senses and all, they are foolish. Why? Because the Lord is there within your heart, in your own heart. Okay. So and then one more point was that the one who's taking temporary pleasures and cravings, that is a beautiful one, strike away down every craving with a rod of wisdom. So again, when you explain that Indra is holding that instrument, that is the power of that viveka and the discrimination. That is very beautiful. And the instrument is that vajra. So with that rod of wisdom, you can just, flick away all your cravings and pleasure. And then what happens? Then you rest in the peace. And these memories which are in your mind is well controlled, and you are well established firmly in your own self. That is what is peace. And then arises the pure bliss of yourself. So this is what is actually dissolution is. And then as it continues, Raja Janak becomes very depressed hearing all these things, and he feels helpless. Why? Because now he cannot, and because that what you said is like that he's, feeling like a stone swinging in the world of misery. And he experiences the fear of death. That is what I could get. And then Raja Janak now contemplates. He says to himself, now you see the dialogues which he says, that how am I so deluded? Then is he ready to give up the appreciation? So this is what he's asking, all that, of all the external objects. So are you ready to leave all that for that peace of mind? So, he's asking himself actually all these things. And the busyness which leads to the external object, that busyness, that rajas which is there like a busy bee, you go on, you go on doing your whole day ka chaos which is going on in your mind. And also, are you ready to give up that also? And this endless suffering which is leading to all this endless suffering and the experiencing sorrow, because at that moment to moment what happens, it is all leading you in that sorrow itself. So everything is subject to change, that is so temporary. Now that Janaka is giving that same knowledge to himself actually. And then he's telling when everything is there temporary, it is subject to the change, then what a mystery it is. Like, what is the mystery then? I am bound without a cord. Now that is what I could get from here, is that he himself is saying to himself, I am bound without a cord. Matlab, the cord is also not there, but I'm bound there. And I am tainted without impurity. Impurity is also not to be seen, but still I am tainted with that. I am fallen as though I am fallen from the top. He's telling I've fallen into these vishayas and everything, the sorrow, the mystery, the misery of the world. That is what it is. Just like as cloud comes in front of the sun, hiding the sun, the cloud is floating, but then by the time it floats, it hides the sun. So in this all way, these relatives are the cords. That is what he is getting the answer from within. Is binding me to this old age and death. That is the fear of losing. That is the insecurity. That is what it is. Today also Gurudev said I just took one point, that insecurity comes when you are useless, when you feel you are useless. But the minute you become useful to somebody, that insecurity goes. So here also see all these things which are happening to him, he's feeling he's useless. Actually, I can get that only. Exactly, I can connect to that. So in this, just as the cloud floats in front of the sun, same delusion mysteriously floating towards me. So it is he's seeing the same thing like that in front of him. And that is giving him, that he's telling all the relatives are the cords which are binding me to this old age and death. And I still cling on to them. Now see that. They are leading me to death. They are leading me to that old age, but still I am clinging to that. So he's getting that knowledge. Self-knowledge is also arising from there. It's not only he's thinking like that, but now the knowledge also is coming. Learning, leaving a memory behind. So every karma that we do with our me and mine, it leaves a memory at the behind. Now what is permanent? Now another thing he's asking himself, Raja Janaka. So see the self-contemplation that he's doing, it's so beautiful. And all this Vaashishtha is telling to Rama. See this, how Raja has done all that. So now what is permanent is the question which comes up. Now all these are temporary. So what is permanent? What is permanent? In this vain hope that binds me one to this nightmare known as world appearance. Yeah, so now he's looking out into the answer of that. Okay. So this is what I could get today, and it was a wonderful one. Really a lesson to contemplate on. It's a very beautiful one. Ultimately, what do you get? I think so. Some other thing. We should leave the meeting now. Yeah. So okay. Jai Gurudev to all of you. Yeah. We'll meet tomorrow. Bye.
Jai Gurudev Sangeeta ji. That was really wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing. Reba ji, would you like to share something? Go ahead. Yeah, unmute yourself and share it.
Actually, today morning time I am unable to attend, and today evening time also very late I joined in this program, and hear your talk and Shogita ji's talk.
That's okay. Whatever you feel like expressing, that is fine.
Thank you, Bhaiya.
Okay, all right, ठीक है. If not, we'll take a pause here. आज के इस सत्र को हम लोग यहीं पे रोक लेते हैं, स्वल्प विराम लेते हैं ताकि पुनः एक बार कल मिल पाए. जय गुरुदेव.
Jai Gurudev.